Recording is started. Okay, everyone, thanks for taking time out of your busy day. Welcome to your mid-COVID marketing strategy featuring Fred Joyal, as you can see here on the screen. I am Phil Bride, executive coach, managing partner, and dental business guy with Fortune Management. Fred will be talking about what matters most to the dental consumers now and what to revise in your messaging, practical tools to bring your patients back in, and the great opportunity that this epidemic creates for dentistry. Fred Joyal is co-founder of 1-800-Dentist and the author of 2 best-selling books, Everything is Marketing and Becoming Remarkable, How to Create a Dental Practice That Everyone Talks About. And Fred is considered one of the top 10 industry experts on patient marketing and consumer behavior. So this is brought to you by Fortune Management. Sponsors are Patterson Dental, Care Credit, JNG Advisors. And with that, I'll turn it over to Fred. Fred?
Thank you very much, Phil. I want to get right into this topic here because it's something that matters a lot to people. They're trying to figure out what to do. And if you know me and you know my books, my last book is called Becoming Remarkable, How to Create a Dental Practice Everyone Talks About. Being remarkable now as a dental practice is more important than ever. And that behavior of creating a remarkable patient experience, the dimensions of that are certainly changing, but it's certainly the same in terms of what you want. You want people to be talking about your practice because they can't resist complimenting your practice, telling people about the patient experience. Imperative to create this remarkable experience. I'm going to talk about the differentiation that's going to be happening as you go forward, because we seem to be in mid-COVID. We don't seem to be looking at the end of this. We're certainly hoping we never get shut down again as a dental practice, and I think there's ways that we can make sure that doesn't happen. But I want to make sure you are doing everything you can to pivot your practice from a marketing standpoint and a patient experience standpoint. And a lot of dentists are saying to me, well, what do I tell people now? It's like, can I just keep promoting Invisalign and implants and veneers and discounts on cleaning and stuff like that? And, what is my message? And what's happened is that message is boiled down to 2 simple things. The first one is effectively communicating patient safety, making sure that your patients feel like they are coming to a safe place. What we're finding is between 30 and 50% of dental patients are unwilling to come back to the practice. They're postponing their dentistry basically indefinitely because they don't know when they're going to feel safe for them to come back and get treated or even get a prophy. And that's, first of all, they're misguided because every practice I've talked to is going above and beyond what's even necessary to protect their patients. But patients don't realize it. So this has to become an integral part of your communication. And not just, I always have to remind people of this because they go, oh, well, I did an email and I told them that we're doing all this stuff. Marketing is not telling people something once. It's telling them over and over again what is happening, how they benefit, why they should want it. So it is an ongoing, repetitive, multimedia message that you want to put out there. And what a lot of patients don't realize is that basically since the AIDS epidemic, dentistry has upped their protection. You just want to say, do you realize everything we already do to protect you? You notice the plastic shields on everything, and we're wearing glasses and masks and gloves. Now we've added another whole layer of protection, physical protection to protect you as a patient, and we're changing our systems. You know, we're not putting people in the reception area. We're taking people's temperature before they come in. Where in many states, they're saying if you've been in contact with anybody who has COVID, or if you've been traveling out of state, please wait 14 days before you come into the practice. We're using all of these measures. The patients need to know about this. And of course, when they walk into the practice, what do they see? Do they see, you know, this people are, they've got a whole different set of sensors now. And I do too. I find myself, and I think this has probably happened to a lot of people, is you'll be watching a movie or a TV show, and all these people will be gathered together, and you go like, everybody's too close. You need to separate. What do you do? You don't have any masks on. It's like we've developed this hypersensitivity, and I think that's going to translate to when they walk into the practice. What do they experience as they walk through the door? They're going to look at the surfaces and say, can these be cleaned? Can these be easily protecting me? What, you know, so upholstered furniture, no longer a good idea. And, you know, seating that's separated, even if you're bringing people in and separating them, you want the seating separated, but not so it feels weird and uncomfortable, like you've pulled all the furniture out of the place, like, because people have done that. They've, in a lot of places where you go now, they've just taken everything out. So there's no way to, like, even Starbucks, you go in there and all the tables are pushed into the corner and all the chairs. Don't create that feeling like it's an episode of The Walking Dead. Okay, have it be still comfortable, but with space and surfaces that can be easily cleaned, and no magazines and stuff like that. Just think about it like that. Think about it like the most OCD patient walking into practice.
Hey, Fred, while we're talking about waiting room, you mind checking to see if the Zoom waiting room?
Alicia, she dropped out and got back in, so I got her back in. Sorry about that, Alicia. We lost you for a minute. And as I said, communicating consistently in different media to put this message out about what you're doing. Use your website, use email if you've got Revenue Well or Demand Force or Patient Activator or Solution Reach. Use those emails to tell people over and over again the measures that you have taken that make it safe, the new procedures, the new systems, the PPE, the policies that you have, and also the technology that you're using. If you have any technology that decreases the amount of time that they spend in the office or in the chair, and anything from, you know, touchless systems to CAD/CAM like CEREC, where basically you're saying, let's get this visit done in one visit instead of two. I always thought CEREC was a fantastic patient message. But now it's exponentially better, because people, even if they are willing to come in, the idea that they can get it done in one visit is way more appealing than it ever was before. Get that message out there. If you're using lasers like a Solea that is reducing the aerosols, that is eliminating needing anesthesia, so your procedures are quicker, less time in the office, less time in the chair, those are powerful messages to put out there to people. And remember, I said there was two messages. Patient safety is one. The second message is a healthy immune system is our only defense right now. We have social distancing, we have masks, but what we have most is our strong immune system. And getting that message out there that oral health is integral to a healthy immune system. This is the dual message you want to put out there and say, this is not the time to be ignoring your teeth, to be not taking care of your teeth, to making sure that your gums are healthy, that we're checking everything so that there is no decay, no infection, no buildup of anything that makes you vulnerable. Drive this message home. Say, this is our golden opportunity to finally connect those two things for people, that their oral health and their overall health are integral to each other. They're completely connected. Whoever separated them, it was absurd, but it's been separated in people's mind for decades. This is our chance to get the message out there and say, this is all part of the same thing. And it's never been more important to take care of your immune system than now. And dentistry, regular dental visits is critical to that. And you have to portray a certain level of confidence to your patients. That's what's going to make them comfortable about coming in, is you say, look, we're going above and beyond what's necessary to keep you safe. This is going to be the safest place you go all year, is this dental practice. Not the grocery store, not the walk in the park. This place, the measures that we're taking are making it extremely safe for you. And that same confidence has to be projected to your team, because of course your team is integral to your messaging. They have to feel confident that the practice is doing everything. And please, if you're not doing everything and maybe you think, oh, it's not that necessary, maybe it's not. Maybe nobody knows for sure everything about this virus. It's kind of the craziest contagion we've ever seen. However, it is necessary to make 30 to 50% of the patients out there comfortable. So going to extremes, doing what you may consider extremes and unnecessary, is not extreme and unnecessary to a third to a half the population. That's the reason you do it. Some of it is just optics. Some of it is, if you've got air filters and external vacuums and things like that, maybe they're not entirely necessary. Maybe they're making a 0.1% difference, but they're making a huge difference in the patient's mind. And think about how your behavior has changed in this time period, in this very bizarre shift. We've seen people's priorities in how they spend money radically changing. They're finding out, I thought I needed a car. I don't need a car that much. I don't need a $100,000 car. I put 200 miles on my car in the past 3 months. Maybe I don't need that. Maybe I don't need so much clothing. Some people haven't worn pants in 3 months. They've worn sweats or shorts, or I don't want to think about what else. But this is their wardrobe focus has shifted, and their priorities are moving to what is bringing me real value in my life. Guess what? What is a better investment than their health, and if they need restorative work, what is a better investment than their oral health? So this is a chance to capitalize on that messaging and say, look, this is one of the best investments you can make at this time, is to make sure you have got a healthy, long-lasting smile. If you've got missing teeth, if you've got decayed teeth, if you're wearing an old bridge, any of those things, this is the time to be looking at implants, to be straightening your teeth. The Invisalign message to me shifts from, oh, you're going to have straight teeth, to you're not going to have crowded teeth, because crowded teeth affects your soft tissue, and it makes it harder to keep your gums healthy as you get older and older. That's it. So suddenly people go, well, I was never thinking about Invisalign for my lower teeth before, I just did the uppers. But the crowding in the lowers is more critical. So suddenly it's a whole new marketing message. So know that you can capitalize on their priorities. And they're going to be thinking about how they look. They're forced to avoid the nail salon and the hair salon and the barber shop and all of these places, and living in their Lululemons. They're going to be thinking about their appearance as they come back out into the world. And we are there with one of the most important enhancements is their smile. So we want to make sure we're messaging that to them. And one of the things I'm hearing over and over again, when dentists are saying, how do I get my other patients back, the ones that won't come back in? My answer is simple. Use the ones who did come back in. They are the ones who are going to get your reluctant patients back in the office, because what they can do is tell people all of the measures that you've taken, how comfortable they feel, how safe they feel, how relieved they feel to be taking care of their teeth, and how much they appreciate the efforts that you're going to. Now, how are you going to do that? You're going to do it with every possible medium you can. You're going to use Yelp reviews. You're going to ask them. It's always been important to have Google and Yelp reviews on a steady basis, but now you need them to say this practice is really safe. And I'm really glad I'm not avoiding the dentist, because people are posting all this stuff about, I put off my cleaning for a year. I'm not going in yet. That's not necessary. First of all, they're wrong about it being necessary, and they're spreading ignorance and fear. We have to use the patients who've been in, and this is what you would say. You want them to do a Yelp review or a Google review, or make a video, a testimonial video that you can put on Facebook and your website and your YouTube page and in Google and Yelp. You say, look, a lot of our patients are really anxious about coming back. It would really help them if you would take 30 seconds and just make a quick video talking about how safe you feel coming back to the practice and how glad you are that you're taking care of your teeth, and all of the effort that we've gone to make sure it's safe to come into the dental office. Or if you'd rather write a Yelp review, if you're one of those Yelp reviewers, or do it on Google. Different message than before, when you were asking them to help you grow your practice. Now you're asking them to help you tell your patients and help your patients know that it's safe. Very different, powerful message, really critical to be doing. This is what I mean. You want to be getting testimonial videos from your patients on a regular basis. 1 or 2 a week. Doesn't have to be every patient, but you'd be amazed that people are so relieved when they come into the office. You know this. You've talked to them and they say, oh, wow, I was a little nervous coming in, but now that I see this, it's completely changed my attitude. I read a review from a patient who was going to a dentist friend of mine, and she has a lupus, the patient, and she just went on about, like, she says, I'm one of the at-risk people. And when I went into this office, I suddenly realized my dentist had gone to make it so completely safe. And she just started rattling off all of the things that the practice did. And what a message. That's the best advertising that there is. And should you be advertising? Should you be promoting your practice? I think that the messaging is changing. I've talked about some of that messaging, But people are, if their priorities are changing, their spending habits are changing, they're going to be focused more on their health, their immune system, and their appearance. This is an opportunity. This is a chance to get your message out into the marketing place. So what's your marketing strategy? How do you approach it? And of course, understand, if you don't already, that all of your marketing is local. All of the digital marketing that you do is by neighborhood. And so everything that you do is based on searches that people do. Most people do searches like dentist, my zip code, or dentist near me. Now and so those results and that information that they find about you has to be rich. It has to be rich with everything possible about your practice, all of the services that you offer, good photographs. This is all stuff you can put in your Google and Yelp profile for free. You can even have a practice video. That practice video should be a message about how safe it is to go to your practice. And the measures that you've taken. A lot of practices have done it. I recommend doing it as well. And in terms of marketing your practice, of course, most of your marketing is going to be digital. You may find that you want to do direct mail and test some things out. And there may be other promotions, but most of the stuff that you're going to do nowadays is going to be online. But and most of you did what you should have done, which is stop spending money on advertising for a few months. But hopefully you didn't stop spending money on the most important thing, which is your SEO. Because if you're paying for SEO on a monthly basis, which you should be, to keep your website alive. Now, not everybody does a good job of that for your website, but if you have that as part of your marketing budget, that should have remained. If you stop it for any reason, restart it immediately, because what happens is SEO slows down and it takes a while to bring back up. It's not like, oh, well, I stopped my Google AdWords and I can just get right back out there and do it. Once the SEO starts tapering off, it takes months to bring it back. So if your investment in search engine optimization should have been consistent, and if it's not, get right back on it, because you want to pull the nose back up on that. Take a good hard look at your online presence. A lot of dentists are using this time to tune up their online presence, to enhance it, because they were doing fine without a really strong updated website or keeping up with social media or gathering a lot of reviews. Now's the time to work what I call the digital marketing triangle and work it hard. And that means you're working your website, and which feeds into search, you're working social media, and you're working online review sites. All of those things have to be at an optimum level, and they take a different amount of time, each of them, and a different amount of money and a different amount of focus. But they're all important because we don't know where patients are coming from. Because they may find you on Yelp and then go look at your website, and then that's how they decide. Or they may have been told to come to your office, and then they go look at your Facebook page to decide how people feel about going to your practice. So all of those things are feeding together. We don't know how they're bouncing through the triangles to decide to come to you, because they can do all three of them on their phone. So it's easier than ever. You have to make all of that work. So I want to show you an example of a tuned up website. This is a dentist. I want you to take a look at this practice. Obviously, it's a Beverly Hills dentist. You notice how it's all widescreen. It's beautiful imagery that's moving in a carousel. from one image to the next. It's all widescreen, and then it's going to scroll downward. Everything, and the reason websites have shifted to this type of downward scrolling is because that's how phones work. That's how everybody scrolls on their phone and on a website, and 3/4 of searches begin on phones. And so look at the beautiful work that he's done with before and after shots. They're very clearly exactly the same person before and after, in exactly the same framing. What else can you tell about this website? What's his message about this website? I'm really expensive. If you're looking for a cheap dentist, don't call me. If you're looking to use your insurance, I probably don't take it, okay? I am a high-end Beverly Hills dentist. He has a consistent message. Somehow I jumped to the wrong place. So I'm going to get back to this. And so be consistent about whatever practice you have. Doesn't mean do this. This may be a terrible idea for you. But your website should, they're making decisions about the quality of your dentistry based on the quality of your website. That's the most simple way I can put it. And that's been true for a while. That's why you want to make sure your website looks as good as possible and communicates who you are and what you do very accurately. This practice also, they've taken their Facebook page and they've added a video about their disinfection process. This is what you should be doing. This is Dr. Joe Field up in Los Altos. Very effective. You can use it everywhere, and people are going to learn what you do. And just in general, for all of your social media and your website, spend some money on photography. You want to spend some money on videos as well, but get some professional photography done, in part because Facebook wants that panoramic framing. You can't even take a 16:9 photo anymore and stick it in. You have to crop the top and bottom. Facebook is making it weird. So you have to have a photographer that knows how to do this. There's videographers that are also photographers. Come in and do that stuff at the same time. Take some great pictures of the practice. It'll make a huge difference. Look at what your competitors are doing out there. If you've got corporate practices around you, what are they doing to attract patients? That doesn't mean you imitate them. Just know what they're doing so you can maybe look in a different direction than what that messaging is. You want to attract a different patient perhaps than they are, or maybe you just want to focus a little bit on your slight advantage or significant advantage to them. And what a lot of what I recommend to dentists is, if everybody's doing one thing, do the other. And if everybody's going left, go right. If everybody's laid off on their marketing right now and their advertising, and a lot of them have cut back on their SEO just because money was tight, this is the time to jump in and get ahead. This is the time to get a message out there. I know dentists who are doing full mouth restorations right now on patients, who are doing Invisalign, who are doing implants. Not everybody's broke. Some people have extra money. Some people are still working and they can't travel anymore. There's nowhere to go to and they don't want to get on a plane anyway. That's tens of thousands of dollars of money that people are normally spending that they want to spend on themselves. This is the opportunity to put that message out there and let patients know what you're doing. Also, this is the time to incorporate teledentistry, certainly as a diagnostic tool, because it has a marketing appeal to patients that it never had before. Nobody was interested in telemedicine before. A few people thought it was interesting and most people eschewed it, but now everybody wants it. This is, some things get very accelerated. This is one of the things Bernie Stoltz talks about, who's the CEO of Fortune, is that, in times of crisis, things accelerate. This has accelerated. You can do this. You can get paid to do this. You can triage patients. You can take care of emergency patients a lot of times without coming in, but you can also start to examine patients for restorative treatment, orthodontic treatment, any type of restorative treatment. You can have a video conversation. If you use the right tools, you can do a real exam of the patient and tell them what's possible. And, it may not be the same case acceptance level as you would have normally, but it's fine. You're doing it on a break. You're doing it when you can just get on the phone and talk to somebody, or get on a video call and just interact with them. That's a very personal, as we know. Imagine if this happened 10 years ago, when we didn't have Zoom and we didn't have FaceTime, how isolated we would all feel. We all know the power of a visual part of the communication. This is your chance to capitalize on that with new patients. I recommend doing a video welcome call with people. Say, hi, I understand you're coming into the practice on Monday. I just wanted to, get in touch with you. And are there any concerns? And, look at the camera. Let me see what's going on in there. A nice thing to do. Very memorable, unique, remarkable, you might even say. And never forget how important, I talked about confidence of you being confident as the practitioner, how important it is for you to project that confidence to your team, but also for your team to project that confidence to your patients. They are the ones that are going to communicate to the patients as much as you are how safe it is, because they feel safe coming to work there every day, all day. That's a powerful thing to tell people. That's a powerful thing to let people know. And when patients hear that, they go, oh, I guess it really is, because you're there all day long, 5 days a week. Yes, I am. And I feel completely safe. You're going to be fine here. And in fact, you should get in here and get some stuff done. Some of that stuff we've been putting off, it's time to stop putting it off. You need a healthy mouth. You need a strong immune system. Boom, boom, boom. They start to hit these fabulous messages. So make sure your team, you are inspiring that team. That's a lot of what Fortune does is helps the whole team get on the same page in terms of their messaging to the patients, and also aligning the team and removing some of the team members that don't want to get aligned. You need everybody pulling in the same direction more than ever now. And along with confidence, you need to project something positive to the team and to the community. When I saw dentists doing stuff like this is Dr. Mangram's office. She did a really interesting thing where they just put a message out to their patients. It's this kind of message that works so nicely with patients on social media, for example. This picture of this is a Bangkok policeman. They were wearing masks for the pollution, and people were saying, boy, the policemen look really frightening with masks on. So they started printing them with smiles on. This was years ago, but look at the difference. It has an impact. When you project positivity, it's very powerful. Project it to the team, project it to the community, project it to your patients. I like to say this: positivity is more contagious than COVID-19. We need that. This has gone on a long time, and it's not anywhere near over. That positive energy is powerful for you and powerful for your patients. And I want to talk about a way to communicate an extra level of safety and also change your practice because of some new technology. I have been working with this company that has been working on a new air filtration respiration system, because these multi-layered N95 things that people are wearing, it's hot, it's ineffective, it doesn't fit right. And actually, I've talked to dentists who say, by the end of the day, I'm worried about my last patient. I feel mentally and physically impaired because I've been sucking my own CO2 all day long. This company is releasing a new product, and we just released it on Monday of this week, on the 27th of July. And so I want to show you a quick video of it. You can see all of the industries that are going to need this, but we're focusing primarily on dentistry because that's where we started as a company. And dentists are so close to everybody all the time in what they do physically. But the technology of this, I'm going to describe in a little bit of detail the difference in this mask. But there are entire industries that need to protect themselves and possibly protect their patients as well. And this technology is going to revolutionize that. It's extremely comfortable. You can wear loops on it with it. And hey, you can even go out for an evening with it if you're concerned about it. But one of the great things is you can see the expressions on people's faces. You can see their lips moving, and actually let me show you a little more detail of it.
That is pretty amazing that you can see the smiles, because that's one of the big things that normal masks hide, which is the whole point of dentistry, is to recuperate the mouth and the smile and even add to it in such a dramatic way.
Yeah, and that was the whole intention of this. Is we knew people need to, particularly in dentistry, they're communicating with the patients on a very intimate level, and you want to see their expressions. This ring that you see here in the middle, which is a voice modulation ring. This picture is a previous iteration of the unit that's being released. This will be completely clear, so you'll actually see through it. And so, but one of the most amazing things about it is, if you see the two ports on it, it's cross ventilation. When you inhale, it comes in through the HEPA filter, through the hose, and when you exhale, that is blocked and it goes out a separate port. So it cross ventilates. There's little flaps that open and close depending on whether you're inhaling or exhaling. So it's constantly refreshing the air, which minimizes the fogging and eliminates the old air over and over again. So it's completely comfortable. It's not warm. There's no CO2 buildup. It's also extremely comfortable all day long. I wore this on a 10-hour flight from Raleigh to Los Angeles with a layover. I never took it off. And it was the silicone mask, the gasket around the polycarbonate is so comfortable that I never thought, I gotta get this mask off my face, which is all I'm thinking about whenever I'm wearing a mask. I actually was walking around in the airport with, a third of the people not wearing their mask, and I thought, I feel really safe. I feel safer than I have felt in 3 months wearing this thing. It's also you can be heard. There's that special ring in the center is made so your voice is transmitted, that you can be heard and understood. You'll lose about 20% of your volume, but you'll still be intelligible. And they're autoclavable. This is a medical grade product, and the cost of it is actually will be, I say it's cost net negative, because it's less than you're going to spend on PPE, on N95s or whatever you're using, because the filter lasts for a month, and you replace it once a month, and you're not buying all of that stuff. The average practice is spending $1,000 to $1,500 an employee on disposable masks. So we're not even generating the garbage, the hazardous waste, as well as the cost of that. And we're going to start to see PPE shortages again as we have a surge in this. But you can be seen and heard, a great advantage. And you can wear your protective eyewear. You can wear your loops with it. This was essential in the design of the product. And because it's meant to rest under the chin and in the middle of the nose, so that when it hits, it's snug and seals, but there's plenty of room for eyewear. And a dentist that I just tried it on, the most exciting thing to him is he says, it doesn't fog my loops. And I went, oh, well, of course not. It's airtight. He says, yes, but I can't even wear N95s, because how the heck can I work with fogged loops? I might as well blindfold myself, So huge advantage there as well. And we've designed it. There's a consumer level with one filter side, and then there's a medical and dental level, which filters the air coming in and going out, so that the atmosphere is also safe when you exhale. And that's mostly, it's certainly a patient advantage, because you're protecting the environment around them from you, even though you're probably perfectly healthy. But you can say, look, I've got filtration on the air coming into me and on the air coming out. It's a dual system through HEPA filters. So you're not contaminating the environment if you happen to be contagious. This is essential for most medical environments, and we certainly think for dental environments. The case is super light. The filter case, it weighs about 5 ounces. You can comfortably wear it. So this is with 2 hoses. You can turn your head, and you don't even have to use the headgear to make it that tight, because the fit is so good, and the silicone is so soft and snug against your face. Just a very revolutionary product that's really, I think, is going to change how dentists are able to work in their teams, and how comfortable the patients are going to feel. And it has a marketing advantage as well. And so we released it just this week, and we're releasing it.
Oh, Fred, you went mute.
I did?
Yes, just for a second.
Okay, am I live again?
Yes.
Okay, I must have touched something in the system, or Zoom just got irritated with me. But if these products will be shipped in about 6 weeks, but the production is limited in the first run. So I'm telling people that to order them now, so that you have them, and order them for the team. And just for the next 2 weeks, there's a discount code only for Fortune clients. And so if you go to the website, claramask.com, and use F50 as the coupon code, it's 20% off. The dual mask is $399. So you save 20% on that. And like I said, with 2 filters, the filters are $10 a piece. You would use 2 a month. So that's $240 a year, plus $400 for the mask. For the mask and filtration kit. That's $640 versus what you spend on PPE. And then you get to keep using the mask indefinitely and just buying filters. So this is something your whole team's going to feel a lot better about. Even team members who are a little reluctant to come back, this may be what gets them to feel safe and confident in the office. As I said, your team is projecting the message that it is safe to come back. So you need their help. This technology can do that. So I recommend you take advantage of it and get in the front of the line, because what's going to happen is group practices are going to buy up the first shipment that comes out in September, and you're going to have to wait till October. And I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. And you're going to call me and say, Fred, can you get me 10 of these? I forgot to order. It's like, I can't. Order now. Get in the front of the line. And going back to the message that Fortune has been putting out there, which I think is really powerful, is this year, it's not necessarily about growth for the rest of the year. It's about being effectively profitable. As things happen that take more time and cost more, you're going to have to find ways to be more efficient. And that's what happens when you have a Fortune coach, is you have somebody who's looking at your numbers, who's looking at your team, who's looking at everything and comparing it to what other practices are doing and what systems could be improved. And just like with a patient, you want to triage your practice and say, what are the 2 or 3 things that would make the most difference right now in my profitability? You don't need the growth if you can maintain the same profit level. Maybe you're off 150,000 or 200,000 in revenue, but if you still have the same profit, it's okay. Next year will be different. And I try to remind people of this who don't think they need coaching, to think they can figure all of this stuff out themselves, or they need coaching for a little while until they get things going right again. The most successful people in the world that I know and that I've met all have coaches. This is the CEO. This is the former Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google. Okay. A billionaire, basically. He had a coach, and actually called the guy coach, that coached him, because we can all get better. We all have blind spots. We all have habits we slip into. We all have things we're missing. We all have things we don't know because we're not connected to everybody. A good coach brings in resources from somewhere else. You never heard Serena Williams go, I won Wimbledon, I can finally get rid of my coach. That's not what successful athletes do. They have 2 or 3 or 4 coaches all the time for their whole careers. Successful people have coaches their whole lives. I have a coach. Actually, I consider Bernie Stoltz one of my personal coaches, because he's, as a friend, he'll be a little gentle with me, but as a coach, he's going to tell it to me straight about what my blind spots are, what I'm falling short on, how I could be better, who I should be talking to, who I should be interacting with, what I could improve. And I respect him for knowing that. And I have another coach that guides me through my, the stories that I tell myself that is impeding my progress, that I can never figure out on my own. And so we all need good coaching. Are there questions out there? As I know I did a classic Zoom talking a blue streak kind of thing, because that's kind of how it goes. But if there are any questions about marketing or the Clara device, or about my experience working with Fortune clients, because the most successful dentists I know across the country are Fortune clients. And so I think there's a reason for that.
Here's a question. Is the Clara mask certified?
It is FDA registered, which means you can buy it as a mask. We can't do NIOSH testing until we have production models. So it will eventually pass NIOSH, because we're not doing anything obscure or bizarre or new with it. It's all very simple stuff. We're doing fit tests this week, which we've already done fit tests with practice, but we're going to do the actual clinical fit testing this week. And it will eventually be FDA approved. There's FDA approval that is emergency approval for anything related to COVID. So it's being fast tracked on that side, but we've registered as a mask with the FDA already, which allows us to sell it. Most of the time, by the time you see this, by the time you actually get one in September, all of this will be done. The NIOSH may be a week or two after that.
Okay. Another question is, why Fortune over local consultants?
Because Fortune, being part of a national network, has the input that's coming from dentists all over the country, and a central brain trust of expertise that has been helping practices for 30 years and refining those systems, and putting out that content that goes out to the individual coaches locally. So you get a local coach with Fortune, but you also get the whole organization and all the systems and expertise and information that a large organization, this is the only nationwide organization of dentist consultants. And it's just a ton of more expertise at various levels. I'm the director of marketing for Fortune, because they can have me in the organization. There's no other organization that could bring me in. They're not, they don't function at that level. The expertise that Bernie has for 30 years, this comes out to every level of the organization, and they have whole divisions on hygiene that are specific training, and there will be training on front desk. All of these things are resources that this individual coach can tap into, which is decades of refinement that is going through refinement. The perfect example is Fortune was the first organization to come out with their teams and their clients and say, this is our 12-week road to recovery. Every week they had a systematic way of taking the practice through this recovery. How do you deal with laying all your team members off? How do you deal with emergency patients? How do you apply for PPP? All of those things. There was, the organization was helping them through every stage. And then how do you reopen? What are the best resources? What's going on state by state? No other organizations jumped into this 8 weeks later. Fortune was right there at the forefront, helping their people the minute they needed them. And many practices are back at their same level of production already because of it. And I don't hear a lot of practices that are there.
Or higher production, by the way.
Yeah, some of them are doing more. So, and so my last message is your most essential life skill, which is adaptability. You are not going to be able to do, if COVID has taught us anything, is what was true last year is not true this year, and is probably not true going forward. The more rapidly you adapt, whether it's using teledentistry or getting Clara masks for your whole team, or changing your marketing message to be about safety and your immune system, and the importance of your appearance and your oral health in having a satisfying life, and that dentistry is a great investment. Bringing in coaching to make sure that no money or anything is slipping through the cracks, because it was easy a year ago to make a $20,000 mistake and absorb it. That's not true anymore. You have to flex with the times, but you have to be much more vigilant, and you need help. And so I appreciate your time, and I want to make sure that everyone out there, if you're not a Fortune client already, make sure you get a practice assessment done with Phil, because this is basically running a diagnostic on your practice to see where you can be improving, where you are right now, what's going to make the most impact, and then make a long-term plan to make sure you have a thriving practice for a long, long time. So that's it for me, Phil. I leave it to you from here.
Okay, sounds good. If you could pass control back to me, I just have a couple of things I want to wrap up with.
Yeah, so unpin me if you've pinned me.
I did pin you, so
And then it'll come back to you.
okay, can I share? Let's see, do I need, you need to re-enable participant screen sharing.
All right, I can do that. I'm going to make you the host. I'm going to go to extremes. All right.
Okay, great, awesome. So I just wanted to show you a couple of things before we wrap up and finish out the evening. Can you see my screen with 3?
Yes, we can.
Excellent, thank you. So what Fortune does, as Fred described, is we're really about increasing profitability, increasing the business engine effectiveness. And there are 5 business engines in a practice, a dental practice, as well as in any business for that matter. And as the owner, as the CEO, as the president, as the guy in charge or woman in charge of a dental practice, you need to pay attention to those. But behind the scenes on those 5 business engines are 3 things that really drive the growth. And what we're looking at here is more patients, more frequency, and more per visit. Well, what exactly does that mean? If you look at just the numbers and go, okay, in theory, if we got 10% more patients and 10% more frequency, 10% more per visit, that's a 33% increase in revenue, potentially in profitability as well. Well, we're seeing that in the practices in their recovery and the practices under management. We see that every day, all the time, before COVID, and we're starting to see this post-COVID as well. Or not post-COVID, but when they're back, as practices get back into full mode. So the ways this happens is with more patients. There's a whole host of things, and Fred talked about some of these things today with more patients, but that's not, some practices don't need more patients. They need more frequency with recare effectiveness rate. A lot of times people think, oh, I've got all my active patients coming back in for recare. Well, we come in and take a close look at it, and most of the time we realize, and the doctors realize, their effectiveness rate in the recare area is just not where it should be or could be. And there's actually money leaking out of the practice in that area. And then more per visit with UCR fees, getting that in line with local expectations, maybe more services or better enrollment in services. And enrollment is a big, big deal. It's like, how do you get somebody to enroll into a treatment plan that they didn't expect to have? So let me talk about the law of attraction. This is something we like to kind of wrap up with all presentations with in Fortune. The law of attraction says, I attract to my life whatever I give my attention, energy, and focus to, whether wanted or unwanted. That you can also bring into your life what you momentarily strongly focus on. So we have this whole idea of we need to focus on these 5 business engines. And there is a key part of that, which is one of the business engines is people and culture, which of all the places that could leak money in finances, in the clinical, in the processes, in marketing, if the people are not fully engaged, that's the biggest leakage that you could have. The internal marketing, the external, internal marketing and enrollment of with you, and every touch one of your staff team members has with a patient is essentially a marketing effort going on there or not going on. And that is very important. It's where you can focus your attention and help engage your team to do more. So to wrap up, what I wanted to do is there's an offer for those attending, free top 10 issues practices faced today. We talked to countless practices and we got the top 10, and give you a chance to take a look at it, see what you share, what you don't share, maybe what you're doing well, which is nice validation. And then a free 90-day 7-step dental business planning process. Every business, not just dental practice, or not just all practices, all businesses, especially dental practices, need to have a business plan in place and revise it every 90 days. So here's a quick 7-step planning process that you could do. Just 1-pager. Take a look at it. It's yours. Plus, you get this free 5 business engine assessment. It's the practice assessment that Fred was talking about. Comparison to local industry standards and national standards, financial metrics, dental metrics, and see where you perform outstandingly. Everybody does something else very outstanding, and where you might be leaking money. Leaking money is a big, big deal, and it's not nefarious. It's not bad things happen. It's just not paying attention, and money just kind of goes away. And you can build more value. Give me a call. Let me know. Get a hold of Fred if you want to talk more about the Clara. You can contact me as well about the Clara mask and any of the stuff around Fortune. Be happy to help. My phone number there, you could text 503-753-9971 or drop me an email, Phil Bright at FortuneMGMT. That's fortunemanagement.com. Be happy to help. Love talking about business and the business side of things. I'm your business guy for dental practices. Fred's your marketing guy, and let's go get them. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Phil, and thanks to our sponsors for making this possible.
Yes, Patterson Dental Care Credit and J&G Advisors, CPAs, and CFOs. Excellent. Thank you all. Okay, Fred. We'll talk soon. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Phil. Take care, Jim.
I'm going to stay on for a minute and just kind of wrap up and clean up some of the stuff, and that's it.
All right. Well, you got a good recording here at least. So
yes. Right. We had quite a few sign up. It was suggested to me to put in the notices that it's recorded in case they can't make it, and I have a feeling that might have had an adverse effect on.
No, it's just people are zoomed out, man. It's hard right now.
Yeah.
And they, especially if they put in a full day at work, you know, they thought they were going to do it, and then they thought, you know what, I'm probably just going to have a drink.